Now let's bring you the conversation regarding the COP28 holding in Dubai, where we have a correspondent, Bettina Nwelih, right there. Bettina, good afternoon from here.
Good afternoon from here as well, Adebola. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and you?
I'm well, under the sun.
Now, just give us a summary of what the high points of this COP28 has been. So far, so good.
Well, Adebola, I think for Africans, I would say the high point has been the fact of phasing out fossil fuels, which may seem almost impossible right now at the moment, especially for Nigerians, because when we talk about fossil fuels, we're talking about our oil, coal, and other natural resources. When our president was here to give his own address during the COP28 before it ended, he did say that they were going to let out a number of electric buses. But, you know, these things take time. It's not something that is going to be rocket science and just, immediately happen. So I think that Africans still need to be given time. Yes, we are willing to contribute our own quota in making sure that we're fighting this climate change appropriately and within the right time frame as well. But completely phasing out the fossil fuels at this time of our journey, I don't see that being quite visible just yet.
I know one of the core for this conference is to ensure that all hands are on deck. And by that, I mean that both the youth and also the adults are all part in ensuring we try to stem climate, challenges. What would you say, has been the participation of youth at the conference so far?
Well, from what I hear, the number of youths that attended the conference this year is the highest so far since the conference began. So I think the youth are finally standing up and waking up, coming to say, okay, this problem is our problem. It's not just a you problem. And everybody is trying to pitch in the way they can to make sure that they also contribute in this fight and to bring forth climate action. Now, I've seen youth, I've seen children, I've seen, very young people who are willing to give their all and also work in hand with the government as well as the older generation to make sure that, we preserve our planet, preserve our nations, and, just make the world easier and a better place to live. So the youths are rising up. One can only hope that they will be given all that they need, all the resources that they need to be able to join this fight and to also sensitize other people who still feel like climate change is just a hoax.
Now, we hear that Azerbaijan will be holding the next Conference of Party in the year 2024. What do you know about the criteria for selection, if possibly Nigeria can bid to become a host country?
All right, Adebola. So what I know is that normally the choice of who to host the next conference usually comes from the United Nations parties. Now, the countries who are under the United Nations parties are selected. There are different regions, and we know that this next year, Eastern Europe has been selected to, champion this cause, hence Azerbaijan being the one to front it. But for Nigeria hosting the COP29 or COP future, yeah. I don't think that, and I say this with all humility, I really don't think that we are quite ready. Seeing all of the preparations that were put in place here in Dubai, first of all, I will throw the question back to you, Adebola. If Nigeria was to host the COP, where do you think we can use? What venue, what location do you think will be appropriate to host over 100 countries in Nigeria?
That's a very critical question there. Perhaps we'll tend to look at security and also ensure security of all the delegates. To come down to Nigeria.
We're talking about security, we're talking about power, we're talking about food. There are a lot of things to consider. So yes, Nigeria should be able to host at some point because Africa is under the bodies of the United Nations as well. But I think that if we do want to do this, we have to start from now to plan and make preparations. Now, apart from the power and the venue and all of that we're also looking at food of over 100 countries because not everybody is going to come and eat our food, even though they will want to try it. But we also have to make preparations for them. So the question now will be, are we ready to host the COP? That's the big question on the table.
Thank you so much, Bettina Nwelih, all the way from Dubai at COP28. I'm looking forward to seeing you very soon.
You too, Adebola. Thank you so much.